Hey guys, Shaun with Real Bearded News here. Now, I have a very special, very special guest on today's podcast, and I've been actually holding on to this episode because I initially was going to release it when the movie was released in theaters, but now that we're so close to the release on Shudder and everyone could watch it, I think this is the best time to release this interview. And of course, I'm talking about the interview that I did with the amazing and talented Elizabeth Vermileya. She is one of the protagonists of Hell House. You may have seen her in Hell House 3, and now she's back to lead Hell House Lineage. Now, you will have a chance to watch this on Shudder October 30th. Go and watch it. If you are a fan of the Hell House franchise, you will like this. Now, there's things that we talk about in this episode with Elizabeth about how it was filmed and where it was filmed, and we made sure there were zero spoilers to the movie. So please check out Hell House Lineage and check out Elizabeth and all her projects. Now, the interview. Elizabeth, thank you. First of all, thank you so much for answering the DM and then just hopping on and having this conversation. I know that you probably get dozens, if not thousands, of requests constantly. So thank you for taking the time.
Not quite that many. More like 2 or 3 sometimes. But yes, thank you so much for inviting me to be on.
Of course. Okay, so I don't know if you have taken the time and going through like the Instagram or listen to like our past episodes, especially those revolving Hell House, but we're fans. We are huge fans. And so when I saw that there was an opportunity to be able to chat with you, I was like, I have to. It is a must. And so let's talk about Hell House. Let's talk about Lake of Fire. Let's start there. First of all, how did you what attracted you to the project? And then what was it that made you stay?
Well, it was just listing on Backstage for an acting job. It said, I think third movie in like a independent horror movie franchise. And I thought that sounds really fun. I don't think it said that it was found footage in that, but then once I sent in the initial audition tape and I got a call back, they gave more information about it. And at that point, I watched the first movie and I thought it was so good and so scary. So I was really excited to possibly have the opportunity to be in it. And then after another round of callbacks, I got to be Vanessa Shepherd, and that was really awesome.
Yeah, and you did great. I really liked your character. I think, especially in Lake of Fire, I think Vanessa's character there has a very unique role, given the way that Steven has introduced what Russell was, right? Technically like an angel. And so, especially because you're following the story of Faust throughout the entire series, it's a very, your role plays, it's very interesting. Like in Faust, right? He has a very, a love interest, and you're not necessarily that, but you kind of are at the same time, right? Like not romantically, at least. So did you explore Faust at all to be able to bring Vanessa to life for Lake of Fire?
Honestly, I read Faust in college. I didn't reread it or get back into it that much for the movie, but I remembered the basics of it and everything. And yeah, I thought that Vanessa was a really interesting character. She's kind of like a little bit outside of the action. She's kind of following it and a little bit the voice of reason sometimes. She's kind of almost the character's or the audience point of view a little bit of like, what is going on here? This is getting weirder and weirder. And like, at what point is it too much and I don't stay anymore? And yeah, she's not a love interest for Russell, but they do have kind of an interesting vibe, understanding or something between them, which maybe makes a little bit more sense once you've seen Lineage, that she is much more involved in the history of everything, much more so than she realizes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a lot of the elements going into that there.
what part of once you watched it, right? Or let's talk about the first one. When you watched the first Hell House, what was it that scared you the most?
Um, I mean, there's like a really creepy atmosphere throughout the entire movie. It's you're never really settling in or comfortable. I would say the scariest scene for me, I think, was the little girl in the corner of the room.
Yeah,
And she's hiding under the bed sheets, and every time she moves slightly and slightly closer to him, that really scared me.
yeah. I love so something introduced in your third film that carries on to Lineage was the Abaddon eyes, and I
Mm.
think it's a habit now. It's almost a ritual. Every Halloween or every October, I rewatch Hell House. Every time there's a new like drop, I watch Hell House, right? And so every time I'm watching or rewatching Hell House, those Abaddon eyes starts affecting like the audience as well. And I think that's one of the greatest things that Steven ever did to even give it a name. And I think you guys, especially Vanessa, was affected by that, and we see that in Lineage, right? And so, how did you? I know that in a past interview you mentioned that it was never like you never planned on coming back. You didn't think like, oh yeah, this is I'm gonna come back to a sequel. When Steven did reach out to you and was like, hey, come on back, how'd you feel about that? Like that now you were more central to the story.
I was really surprised and excited. I thought the third, I mean, the trilogy, my movie was the last one in that, and that kind of wraps that up completely, I thought. And then The Carmichael Manor came out, and I saw that he'd gone in like a totally different direction. There were ties to it, like little Easter eggs inside the film that tied it to the Abaddon Hotel. But it was definitely very much its own story at the same time. So I thought, oh, if he makes more movies in the future, it's going to be, in that direction. So I had no idea that Vanessa might be coming back for another one. Yeah, then he explained like how he was going to approach it and kind of from Vanessa's perspective, and that it was going to be narrative and switch things up. And I thought it sounded really interesting and cool. So I was really excited to get a chance to be part of it again.
Yeah, and then you obviously worked with him in 825 Forest Road.
Mm,
Great movie as well. Um,
thanks.
and so you started seeing the direction that Hell House could go once he goes away from found footage. So,
Mhm.
what did you think? Like once you did 825 Forest Road, and then he approached you about Lineage. What were your thoughts?
Um, Probably my initial thought was a little bit of fear, because I know how much people love the found footage aspect to it, and there's a lot of people out there. Like I saw comments like, "I only enjoy found footage horror." That this is, one of the great examples of genre is, Hell House LLC for people. So I was nervous, and I thought it was really bold of him to switch it up, but yeah, I mean, I think he wanted to explore things in it that were outside of what he could do with found footage and kind of push that and bring it together in a way that felt true to him. And I think that no one can fault him for that. It's just, that's where he wanted to go creatively. So I was game. I thought it sounded like a really fun idea, and everyone definitely had a lot of fun with it while we were working on it there.
Yeah. So one of the things, so even though I love reviewing movies, I do it from a place of experience almost. I enjoy filming movies as well. And so I'm not, I don't know if you're familiar with Kevin Smith from Jay and Silent
Yeah.
Bob. He wrote a
Mhm.
book, and in his book, he said the people that critique movies really harshly is because they don't have the balls to make their own film. And so, like, I took that almost personally, and I was like, wait, no, there's a point to this, right? And so I'm not that harsh with movies. So when it came to 825 Forest Road, I actually really enjoyed it. I know a lot of people thought, oh, maybe he should just stick with found footage, or this is just an extension to Hell House. He's experimenting, and they hated it. How do you feel about like? There's obvious differences between the two films, and there's obvious
Yeah.
similarities between the two films. Which ones between? And I guess I'll stick with the with Lake of Fire and 825. Which one do you lean more towards? As far as like your
Um,
favorite one that you've done.
I guess maybe I'm gonna say 825 just because it kind of got to be its own thing. When you're doing a franchise, so much of it is kind of backs to the earlier movies, referencing things, that sort of stuff. 825 was just its own thing, its own story. It didn't have to rely on past lore or try to make sense of that in any way, callbacks of characters or anything. So I thought that was a really cool and fun movie to work on. I mean, Hell House Lake of Fire was also great, because the characters from the previous movies came back and did cameos in it, and that was really fun too. Creatively, like to work on. I think I had more fun in 825 though.
Okay. And so
Yeah.
I think one of the critiques that I have ever done on Lake of Fire has been Russell's scar. Like I notice it, and it's one of those things where I'm like, they could have done a little more on that. Is there anything about like Lake of Fire or even other Hell Houses where you, because you're in it already, you've been able to pick out like, that's kind of funny. Like not necessarily like trash on it, but like, hey, that was funny. I thought we hit that cup a little better or anything like that.
I mean, I will say on Lake of Fire. I mean, it's a small independent, like it's not a huge budget movie. So CGI effects, the Lake of Fire that happens at the end with that tiny little trail of fire
Yeah.
that comes up in the
Yeah.
basement, it was a little comical, which is nobody's fault. It's a lot of money to get like really good graphics for stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I find it kind of endearing and cute
Yeah.
that the Lake of Fire was so tiny.
It definitely adds to like the charm of the movie overall, and it still brings
Yeah, I
that
think so.
good feeling at the end. Um,
Yeah.
so which one, as far as your films, which one has been your ultimate favorite?
Oh man, I don't know. Maybe I'll go with Lake of Fire. I think it was the first like feature film that I did, the first one that was gonna like get a bigger audience than like sending a link to my mom or whatever to watch
Yeah.
it. um so that was really cool and really exciting. And yeah, some people really liked it, some people didn't. That's okay, it happens.
Yeah.
No one's all like something. But yeah, it was really fun and really exciting and like really cool to be part of like the Shutter world and everything. So yeah, I'll go with that one. It was the first one. It was special.
Perfect. Um, so now, driving off of the Lake of Fire, let's go into 825 a little more. How was the filming schedule on that one in comparison to Lake of Fire? Did you feel a lot more stressed because you weren't necessarily the main person, but you were almost on like in every scene? So how was that for you?
Yeah, it was 825. It was kind of a trio of main characters. You could argue that maybe a Joe character or Chuck. The character's name is Chuck, right? The actor's name is Joe. I get confused all the time. He may have been like kind of the central figure, but it was the three of us kind of with that one. Um, yeah, so Lake of Fire, because it was found footage, you can film it really, really quickly. So I think it was like a week and a half.
Oh wow.
Which actually is fine for that because you're not doing multiple camera setups. Lighting is not a huge thing that you're waiting on because it's supposed to look, natural and a little gritty and all that. 825, I think we had about a month, which is pretty tight for a narrative film, especially horror one where there are scare sequences and more technical stuff that you have to do. It's different than doing like a drama or a comedy or something in the same
Mm-hmm.
amount of time. So that was a little stressful just because such a tight shoot and you really can't get behind. You especially, I mean, we didn't have the money to like come back and do redos in Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania sometime later. So you really need to be on your game and know all your shit and like get the scenes that you need to do that day, and it can't take longer than the allotted time. that the AD has given you for it. So yeah, a month sounds like a lot longer, but it really
It's
kind of isn't for that kind
right.
of project. Which, I guess if you've filmed some stuff, yeah.
Yeah, and it's
So
so rough, right? Especially when I mean, I've worked with very brand new actors, and they're all friends too, right? Like they're mastering their craft, and it's so cool to see me master my craft while they're mastering their craft, and we're mastering together. But that means we're also screwing up together. And
yeah.
we shot a feature film, which I'm still working on the edit, and it's one of those things where, as an artist, you're trying to perfect it every single time you go to it, and you keep chipping away, and you're like, I'm about to have nothing because I chipped the entire block. Um, but I think we shot in 2 months, and that was a lot. That was a very tight schedule because it was only on weekends, and it was like, okay, we have to get this. So definitely seeing like
It wasn't
understanding.
really 2 months. It was
Yeah,
3 days. Or yeah.
exactly. And then seeing someone not have their shit together, it's like, come on. Now we're taking time away from something else that we could have done better, but because we're staying here, now we have to like cut, or we have to completely reimagine the scene because of this. So a month sounds like a lot. Like when you tell someone like, "Oh yeah, I was filming for a month," and you're like, "Wow, 30 days of filming." No, that's not a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, definitely understand where you're coming from. With 825, how did you manage to create your character for your own mind? Like, create that character, make it your own, and separate it from Vanessa.
Yeah, she felt really different. I don't know. I wasn't really thinking about it in terms of making it different or the same. She just felt like a totally different person, so I didn't really think about the Vanessa aspect of it. She also she had mental health struggles. She has bipolar disorder, so I did a lot of research and watched documentaries and stuff, and found like little bits of stuff that people would say that kind of resonated with me and that I could make sense of that I tried to incorporate into it, especially anything physical, because you can't play like sad or depressed. It has to be. It's easier to have something more concrete that you can draw on. So, like the physical tiredness that people talked about feeling was something that I thought about a lot as she gets progressively more affected by living in this house
Yeah.
and, affecting her mentally and everything. Yeah, I thought about that. And then I felt like she was really clearly written when I read the script the first time. I felt like I get who she is, and she's in the beginning at least. Like I feel like she's really confident. I felt like she had a sense of humor. She wasn't scared to like rib Chuck a little bit when she
Mm-hmm.
felt like he was kind of being a dick, which he was sometimes during the movie. Just to kind of get right back in him and like, no, you can't say that. So yeah, I really just liked her, which I think makes it easier to kind of create a character there, and then yeah, go from like small things, and then kind of try to fill out the world a little bit, going more from there is just kind of how I worked on it, I guess.
Are you the type of actress that you feel like a little bit of the characters that you're playing are a little bit of yourself at the same time, or are you completely disassociating from those characters? Like they're completely make believe for you.
Yeah, I think most of the time it's something that you should be using yourself, either heightening parts of you, lessening parts of you to try to make the character. I mean, unless you're playing like a gargoyle or a demon or something that's like completely separate. I Why wouldn't you use yourself? Kind of is my opinion. Like you want to give the realest performance possible. It's something that people can watch and just believe that it's real. So I think it just makes sense to use yourself as much as you can.
Yeah.
No one's going to be exactly like you, but you can, change stuff a little bit. Yeah.
Fair. So in that case, what parts of both of these characters that you've played for Steven, what parts of them are you?
For Vanessa, the first movie at least, I feel like ambition, the reason that she's there in the first place, she's on. this morning mystery show. She's the
Mm-hmm.
new host of it. It's like a little on the cheesy side, and I felt like she is using this as a stepping stone. Like she wants to be Diane Sawyer or something in the future.
Right.
And so, if she can do this and get this interview with this really famous billionaire guy and like do a great job, then that's going to be amazing for her career and a definite concrete reason to stay in this situation that is getting scarier and scarier.
Mm-hmm.
And as an actress, obviously, I totally get that. I mean, if you get the chance to be in this role, that's amazing. You're gonna try to do stuff to, make that happen no matter what. So yeah, I think that part of it I really connected to Vanessa. Um, or 825 for Maria. I don't know exactly. I guess feeling of being misunderstood, feeling of trying to communicate your feelings or something and having it not be believed, being gaslit.
Mm.
I think that's probably something that many people, many women, can really relate to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really understood that part of her, I thought.
Nice. Okay, so that was 825. Let's keep driving. And I want to start because Lineage was one of those movies where, for me personally, I felt that it was going back to its roots without it necessarily going back to its roots, right? So its roots is found footage. We didn't get that. However, something that it was really, really good, Hell House was really, really good at was creating an atmosphere first. And so the first one, if you watch it and you have zero patience, it drags a little bit. And then you start getting hit with everything slowly. And I feel like Lineage did that for me. I was like, okay, we're going back to what it was. We're creating scares from nothing. You're going to hold this angle for as long as possible. You're going to make me think something's there when there isn't. And it's breaking away from what I've called the American formula for horror, right? Where it's like, there's a sound, let me go find out. Oh, it's just a cat. Turn around, kill her, right? That's
Right.
the American formula. So I feel like he went away from that, and I do like that. So before we jump into Lineage and we keep talking about it, I want to talk about the quote unquote controversy the producer had about negative reviews. And part of the reason that I started talking about like how I don't necessarily give bad reviews to movies is because there's so much work that goes. Like saying a movie is bad, that is dictating that the acting was bad, that the screenplay was bad, that the locations were horrible. Like there's a plethora of things that has to go wrong for a movie to be bad. So I kind of agree with him, but what are your opinions about what he said, how he said it, and why he said it?
Right. So I should first say I didn't totally read what he said. I so the movie came out, the comments started happening. I
Mm-hmm.
was like, I'm gonna jump off the internet for a minute because I don't want to, deal with this. Feel like it's not great for my mental health.
Yeah.
So I wasn't paying attention to really anything that was being said. Out of curiosity, when I did hop back on and like see if there was new stuff or anything, I did notice the controversy. And I didn't read the initial comment. I just kind of saw people were really angry at him for telling people that they couldn't leave bad comments. And it seemed like they were making out to be this kind of underhanded thing, like he wanted to make getting good reviews for the movie or something like that. So I can't speak too much to it because right after that, I kind of hopped off again because I was like, I don't know if I want to deal with this. um, but yeah, I get both sides of it, I guess. I understand that people are allowed to have an opinion and not like things and say openly that they didn't like it. That's fine. I also do think outside of just our movie, there is bigger conversation to be had about like when does free speech turn into something toxic and like online bullying at a certain point. And I actually just saw in the news there's that teen program, The Summer I Turned Pretty, and Amazon, I guess, put out a statement on their thing that they're just going to start deleting comments that are getting really personal and too mean. And I don't know what those comments were specifically. But yeah, I mean, I get it that you didn't like it and you want to say it, and that's, that's fine. But there is a certain level where it's like, why did this upset you so much that you want to like kind of be needlessly cruel about it a little bit to an extent? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's movies that I don't like, and I all my friends like, oh, I hated that movie. And that's enough for me. I don't really understand the need to post stuff publicly where other people can see it. Everyone has a right to. I'm not, saying not to do it or whatever, but yeah, there is kind of a blurry line there. So I'm not sure really what the solution is, but
I honestly think so. Are there aspects of Lineage that I was like, you know, I would have gone a different direction? Absolutely, because I have an opinion, right? Like, I am human.
yeah.
It's gonna happen. However, do I think Lineage was a bad movie? Absolutely not. I think him coming out and saying like, "Hey guys, like, the fact that we even have this in theaters," because I think that's how it started. Like, the fact that we have this in theaters, and it's not in a lot of theaters. You guys put in bad comments or bad reviews. It's not helping us be able to bring the product that you want to see. And when I read it, and I was like, bold choice, but I get it, and I'm behind it 100%. Because for me, I had to drive a few miles to find a theater that had it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, so I had bought my tickets. Like, I lived south of Provo. The closest theater that had it initially was like 20 miles away. And I bought my tickets. And then I guess it had enough traction in Utah where there was a theater that was closer. So I had to like get my refund, rebuy tickets a little closer. And by closer, that was 15 miles away. So there was a 5-mile difference. It wasn't much. But it's still, it sucks that people don't understand that to make a movie, there's so many steps. To release it in theaters, there are even more steps to take. And when you go ahead and you trash on something, whether because you have an honest opinion or you just want to be that person, it really affects so many people. And it trickles down to like even your local theaters. Like even them are not able to now show movies that people want to watch. And people don't know that they even have it. So I agreed with them. It sounds like you see both points, which is completely valid. And I agree.
Yeah. And again, I didn't see the specific thing, so it's a little bit hard to comment on it. I could have looked at it, but I just because it's been a little bit rough with the comments.
Yeah. Don't look at it. It's not worth it.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah. No, and I watched it and I saw like stuff that I could have done better, and how much of that is me or the editing or whatever. Could I have made better choices? Like, sure, but the movie's out and it is what it is. Yeah. And some people really like it and some people don't. It's okay.
Yeah, and that's perfectly fine. So, speaking of perfectly fine, Vanessa is not perfectly fine.
No.
She has developed a little bit of alcoholism early in the morning. That vodka is crazy. She is still having effects from the Abaddon eyes as well. And then nightmares and all of this. So, to prepare for this role, now that you're a little more central, what were your thoughts? How did you prepare for it? And how did you make I'm assuming you made a conscious decision to make this Vanessa very different from Lake of Fire Vanessa. Because Lake of Fire Vanessa was very determined. She didn't care what she had to do to get things done. This Vanessa is almost scared. So how did you manage to like, okay, this is what I'm going to do to make her different?
I don't know if I thought of it in that sense exactly. It was more just like I thought I had notes left over from like in a journal of when I did Lake of Fire. So I kind of went over everything that I had for her at that point. Then just did like a bunch of script analysis on the new one to see like where is she now? What are like just facts about her that I have to play? And then try to figure out how does this person get to this person, like A to B, what would have had to have happened to her in her life and everything. And yeah, I mean, she's struggling a little bit at the end of Lake of Fire because of everything that happened. She also kind of screwed herself by openly reporting something that someone told her off the record.
Mm-hmm.
So being a journalist, like, no one's going to trust her again. And it was this big scandal, I imagine, after everything came out with the last night at the Abaddon Hotel. So I figure she's, trying to get back into her own old life, and she can't because she's kind of blown up to bits.
Right.
And so there's, existential crisis, sort of depression in that, and not being able to have like the biggest dream that you have that's like dead. That's its own thing. And then also on top of that, there's the recurring nightmares, um, seeing things, trying to cope with that. I think self-medicating with the alcohol more and more and more. So yeah, I think she's definitely changed. She's definitely hurting, and I think by the end of the movie, she's kind of trying to get back into caring about things again, trying to fix the situation and getting more involved in it. And I think Alicia coming and telling her about the mystery of everything gets her like a little bit by little bit more interested in it again.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's definitely very different.
Yeah. And so with Lineage, we had some callbacks from heavy callbacks from the Carmichael Manor, as a matter of fact. And you weren't part of that one. So when you I'm assuming that you watched the Carmichael Manor. How did you manage to, when you were playing Vanessa and you had this in the back of your mind of how things were going to go, how did you manage to stay true to that Vanessa character and not let yourself get influenced by, one, what you knew already because of the script, and then what you watched in Carmichael Manor?
Yeah, I did watch Carmichael Manor when it first came out on Shudder, and I thought it was great. Nessa has no idea about any of that, though, in the world of the movie. I mean, she was living back in Abaddon at the time that they would have been doing that. When I can't think of characters' names right now. When the two women and their brother go to the Carmichael Manor and all that happens and they die, she would have been aware of that as like a local news story or something, but doesn't know what's going on. And so that's part of what's so disturbing is she's having these really vivid dreams of being in the Carmichael Manor, which she doesn't think she has any connection to at all. Um, so I didn't really think about trying not to be influenced by that. I just kind of looked at the facts of the story of what Vanessa, how much she would know versus not, and just tried to put it out of my mind because she doesn't know them. She's not sure why she's having visions of this place.
Okay, so one of the cool things that we slightly discussed off air was that sometimes there's no clear distinction as to what is happening when it's happening. So is that just a complete post-production type of thing? Or when you were reading the script, it was written that same exact way where even you were like, wait, is this happening at the same time? Is this happening in an else world? Like, how was that?
Yeah, possibly it was easier to understand in the script because it would say Vanessa falls asleep or Vanessa passes out or whatever, and then we're in dream thing or dream sequence. So yeah, of the many times
you
that
were
I fall asleep
very
or pass
rested.
out in the film, I am. She's tired. Okay,
Fair.
she's got a lot going on.
Yeah.
She's got to get her nap time. But yeah, so that's like she thinks it's nightmares. It's actually more of like a gig sort of drawing her in to things that are happening at the Carmichael Manor.
Nice. That's not a spoiler for anybody, right? That it's okay.
Don't think so.
I'll probably bleep like. Okay.
I mean, maybe slightly. The first one happens pretty early in the movie, I think. So I don't think it's too spoilery. Hopefully, it's just a clarification if anyone doesn't understand what's happening.
And I think there isn't necessarily, even though it happens like towards the beginning, there isn't necessarily a very clear explanation that it is a situation that she's having for X and Y reason towards the Carmichael Manor or towards anything else. It just so happens to be. Okay,
That
you
was a
know what?
spoiler that
We're
I
going to
shouldn't
go
have
ahead
said.
and we're just going to bleep that when you say that. It's going to be like, oh, yeah, it's just a beep, 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 beep. And I'm like, all right,
Okay,
cool,
sounds
yeah.
good. It's like a medium spoiler. It's not
You know
that bad, I
what?
don't
I want to
think.
see you in the next one, so we're going to go ahead and take the appropriate steps to keep it that way. Awesome. Okay.
Okay.
So with where does it go now? Without spoilers, where do you think Vanessa's gonna go with it? Because so part of the reason that I was so excited for this movie was it's supposed to be the last one, right? And then it ends, and you're like, my brother in Christ, this does not look like a last one. And so then someone had mentioned, like, I went online and someone mentioned, like, oh, I believe this is going to be the last one that Steven directs. He might just be producing the next one. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool, I guess. But how does Vanessa, or how will Vanessa, do you believe, will overcome this? Because the first time with Lake of Fire, she didn't overcome anything. She died at the Abaddon, and then it was Russell who brought her back to life with his sacrifice. So now it's up to her to play that role of Russell, kind of. So where do you see the story going?
Yeah, so officially this is the last Hell House movie, at least that Steven would direct. I heard rumors or something that someone had been interested in continuing the story, which happens in franchises, but as far as I know, I think it's supposed to be the last one. I could be wrong though. I thought Lake of Fire was going to be the last one. So I'm wrong often. Um, but what I would hope if another one happened is that Nessa seems to have been re-energized and she kind of has a purpose again at the end of this. She realizes that the mystery is continuing and that she is more a part of it than she realized. So I would think that she would try to continue to figure this out and stop the curse of the Abaddon, or whatever you want to call it. And yeah, stop Andrew Tully and his evil cult of clowns.
Nice. Also, I must say, I'm the type of person, my wife hates watching movies with me because I can figure out a plot from the very first 20 minutes of the movie. I can figure out a plot. Now, a
Yeah.
plot that I didn't figure out and was more of a I had an inkling, but I did not want to believe that inkling, was the caretaker of the Carmichael Manor.
Yeah.
That was a hell of a plot twist, and I really enjoyed it. When you finally obviously watching the Carmichael Manor, you don't get that feeling about him. It feels off because of what he's talking about, and why is it that he doesn't experience supernatural things at this house that he's been allegedly taking care of for so many years, right? So you have like a suspicion, but you kind of like put it away and you try to make it normal. So now we have knowledge of who he is. When you read that, how did it make you feel?
I thought it was a fun twist. I had a feeling that something was going on with him, so he was going to be someone involved in it. I didn't guess exactly the way that would happen. Um, again, this is so vague because I don't want to say too much and spoil it or anything.
Oh, you're good, yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm trying to remember back. I think I thought that he was going to be somebody else than he actually turns out being.
Okay.
Yeah, and there was lots of different, theories on if he was going to turn out to be someone or other.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's obvious. I think it's kind of a fun little twist.
Yeah, I really liked it, and I really hope that there's a follow-up to Lineage, so like that we could have either a conclusion or we could have a little more information, a little more closure when it comes to Vanessa's character. So I definitely want to see you on the screen. That being said, What projects do you have coming up?
I did a few short films that are in post-production, so hopefully those should be ready sometime soon. And then, yeah, there's a feature film that I think might be shooting early next year or late this year. That's kind of a psychological thriller. And then another one that might be developing soon, but it's too early to really know or say anything about it. But yeah, so another kind of creepy one will be coming up too for the
Nice.
feature film.
Awesome. And then if you had it your way, and it could be anything. So literally you are God and you choose what happens. What franchise, if you wanted to do a franchise, or what movie would you like to be a part of?
In terms of franchise, I mean, in general, it's kind of so hard to. As an actor, you spend so much of your time just trying to get projects and get cast. It's kind of hard to not lose sight of like, okay, what do I want to do? And that's why I think so many people start creating their own stuff nowadays. Just for silliness, if I could do a franchise, I think I would do a Final Destination. I think this one was the last one, but you never know. But yeah, I'd really like to be decapitated in something. I would just love to have a keepsake of my own severed head that I could bring home and have like on the coffee table.
That is dark and
yeah.
twisted, and I'm all about it.
Fingers crossed.
I know that previously you had also mentioned The Purge.
Yes.
So decapitation or just some type of murder victim.
Yeah, or I mean, if a purge, I think actually maybe I'll be like one of the more badass characters.
Okay.
Yeah,
I can see that.
shooting up people that are purging or something. But Final Destination for sure, I want to be decapitated.
Nice. I will start a petition for you.
Thank you.
Okay. And then is there anything you would like the audience to know about you that no one knows?
Oh my gosh. No.
You're like, I like my life secret.
Is there anything about you that you would want people to know that no one knows?
Oh, how the tables have turned. That's what.
Not so easy, is it?
Let's see. I don't know if I want them to know, but something that a lot of people don't know is that I used to play the clarinet when I was a kid.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, I was a total Squidward.
A Squidward?
Yeah, SpongeBob.
Oh, I haven't seen SpongeBob.
Like ever?
No, not ever.
That is impressive.
I think it started when I was a teenager or something. So I was much too cool to watch SpongeBob.
That's. I mean, I'm old, but that's valid. I get it.
Okay.
I get it. Cool.
Well, yeah. I love cats like obsessively. I guess that's not something that people don't know about me necessarily. But yeah, I love cats. I would have 15 cats if I could.
No, nothing's stopping you.
Well, I live in an apartment.
I was gonna say a lease is just a suggestion of rules.
Yeah. If I had like a big rambling castle or something, I would just fill it with cats. So that's the dream. Get decapitated and
15
full
cats.
of cats.
There you go. Awesome. Elizabeth, thank you so much for taking the time and interviewing with me. I really enjoyed it. Where can people find you? What are your socials?
Sure. I am on Instagram, Vermilyea Elizabeth. And that's pretty much it. I'm not that social media.
Perfect. Elizabeth, thank you so much. You have a good one.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Of course.